Okay, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Mic check, mic check. One, two, three. Greetings in the name of His and Her Imperial Majesty Emperor Haile Selassie the First. One perfect balance. Well, yeah, welcome to Politically Incorrect. Where we get it correct. If we're not correct, please correct us. Can somebody please tell me what's going on in the airwaves? There's a lot of like interference. This is unusual. I mean, unusual, but there's a lot of electronic interference. I've not seen this I've not seen it like this since we were joking about the Chinese back then. It's been that kind of a while. I've not seen this kind of interference, but nevertheless, let me know how this is coming across out there in cyborg space. Then we'll really know that this is indeed a calm before the storm. Clearly, so I don't know. You guys let me know how things are appearing on the other side. It said there's no audio. I'm seeing Empress say no audio. Your image is sticking. Pedro is saying it's sticking. Okay, hang on, Pedro. Let me see here. Hold on. See if I can make a difference here. Oh man, these are the things that happen in Barbados. Let me check it. Good night. Good night, Alex. I see you. Peace more. Tonight we're going to run the mic, open the mic, and bring some folks into the studio, one way or the other. Sexy D, I see you. Hang on a second. Good night, family. Empress is saying no audio. How is it coming across now? I guess let me know. Like I said, we've not seen this since. I don't have nothing running. This is very interesting. Hang on. I see you, Pedro. How we looking out there, Pedro, in cyborg space? Let me know. Who else we got here? Greetings. Jackie, I see you, Jackie. How we sounding, Jackie, all the way in New York? Good night to you too, family. Good night. So the image is stick. All right. Still sticking? Blessings flow to all right. Maureen says she's good. I don't know, Maureen. Let me know. Daffodil, how we looking out here in cyborg space? We have a guest on tonight, and I don't, because of the interest of time already, I just want to give way to her very quickly. We got Alex supposed to be shouting out at some point in tonight's program as well. Like I said, I've not seen this kind of interference for a while, but I'm not surprised. Not at all surprised. So we gonna see what's really happening. Showing look like the Chinese may have what called Pegasus. Oh man. What else can I say at this point, man? Like seriously. Let me see what's happening here. They said the internet connections are bad in certain areas. Yeah, you know what's happening. Yeah, I can just imagine. I am sharing. They turned down the next 3G. They turn on the net. It's on 3G. That's what you're saying, Alex. Pedro say he can hear. Yeah, the audio is clear. Apparently, it is the video that's an issue. Images are blurred. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The images are definitely blurred. Like he says, sticking on her, and yeah, it's the origin is right here for sure. Audio is okay. Yeah, they're probably trying to hack through the back somewhere. Greetings to you too, brother. Rastafari. It's really cloudy. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So you already know what's happening, family. This is not the usual program. It doesn't happen like this at all. I gonna tell you right now, I'm making a note of this. Digicel gonna have to pay me because my Digicel package, I don't have regular internet. Actually, like the average person in the household, my package is a little different because I upload. Upload is different to download, and so I'm supposed to have different bandwidth completely. So they're gonna have to pay me. They're gonna have to pay me for this, Digicel. We ain't playing that. Making a note of this. But anyhow, family, Alex has to be watching on mobile. Signal getting jammed. Yeah, the signal is getting jammed. Pegasus is at work. Anyhow, family, in spite of all that, I'm going to try something a little different and see what happens. We have a guest, a really special guest. Miss Paris is joining us. And of all nights, no, I don't do Tuesday nights. Y'all know I don't do Tuesday nights. I can see my screen in front of me literally glitching. So what's what I want to do? I wonder if I can pull this off. Let me see if I can pull this off. I want to bring her onto the screen right now, and I'm gonna switch it up and see what can happen. So I want you all to encourage this young lady to be positive and share her thoughts on her experience, who she is, and what her vision is for Barbados and the constituency in which she represents and the coalition that she is a part of, if I'm not mistaken. And for the first time on Politically Incorrect, Miss Natalie Paris. Greetings.
Hello, good evening, everybody. Emmanuel, thank you for having me. Good night to everyone that's watching.
If you can hear me, I'm
Yes, I
seeing
can hear
you.
you.
But
I'm
hold on,
seeing
let
you.
me
You're
see if I can switch
sticking,
this. I'm
but
not hearing
yeah.
you.
You're hearing
You're
me?
hearing me? Yes, I hear you now loud and clear.
Okay. I'm getting some background interference, but I'll work with it.
Okay. I'll see what I can do for you from here. In the meantime, go ahead and tell us a little about yourself. Who is Miss Paris, and who is NNP, and what is your vision for this rock called Barbados?
Okay, well, again, my name is Natalie Paris, and I am the candidate for Christchurch East Central. I am a part of the New National Party, which is a relatively new party. We would have started up last year when we started doing a series of press conferences and talks to the public online about issues that were going on in the society and societal issues as well as political issues that we felt needed to be addressed and spoken about to start a dialogue. And it progressed from there. The party leader is Mr. Kemar Stewart. I think most of you are probably familiar with him by now. And he has a show called The Alternate Views. So you can always catch up on some of our previous work by going onto that YouTube channel. But the party was formed based on the recognition of our ancestors and what our forefathers did for us to become independent, and having seen how the society has changed and how politics was being done um, in recent times, it became a concern. I would have gone through certain things um, in my working experience. Kemar would have as also, and there were certain things that you know I guess we realized we had to say something about. We were watching our beautiful Barbados just run down, run to ruins, and we recognized that there was nobody else in the places that we needed them to, that were in these places that were talking about these issues. It was actually like the elephant in the room where certain things were just ignored. So I think that that is the tenet of why and how this has progressed over time. With respect to me and the constituency, I would have moved to Christchurch. I'm originally from St. James, but I would have moved to Christchurch over around 9, 10 years ago. And over the past few years, I have had to move house, and I moved job as well. I went from being in an employed environment to being unemployed and starting up my own business. And in that time, I had time to really observe what was going on around me and to talk to people in various environments and get their views on certain things. And a lot of people are saying the same things. And there are things that affect us all. They affected me in big ways where I had to make life changes. My family had to make life changes. And a lot of people around me are having to make life changes. And because I have a background in counseling, um, education, educational admin, management, coordination, as well as personal and professional development, training, capabilities. I'm actually a practitioner of the MBTI, which is a personality type assessment. And I have a background and qualifications in holistic healthcare, acupuncture, really auricular therapy, which is air acupuncture, as well as herbal medicine making, homotoxicology, and that was medicine, along with teachings in traditional wisdom teachings. Um, I was able to formulate and see a connection in all of these things. And given some of the things that have occurred over the last few years with the pandemic and other things that have taken shape in Barbados, I recognize that our people are crying out. Housing is an issue, crime is an issue, bad roadways, another issue. Our youth is the biggest issue. Um, and when I started to do the program on alternate views with Kimar, I felt that we needed to educate the public more so that should we ever have to make certain decisions again, we are very well aware of what we are signing on to. And I started to push for empowering people. Now, when we talk about empowering people, people get scared because, let's face it, it's almost as if things are fighting against persons that are trying to empower themselves. And this is where we all need to be. We can't all rely on what we are told. We have to be able to get the knowledge to understand what we are signing on to. And as time progressed, more information started to come to the fore. And I have a lot of information, a lot of understanding, which then persons started to come to me, asking for guidance. And that in turn made me do more learning as well, because I always feel that we are in a place in humanity and in the world where we have to evolve as a people.
Mm-hmm.
And we also have to, the world has changed so much, and it is really up to us to shape the world that we live in.
Mm-hmm.
Um, in our
Mhm.
political, stance is that people, the collective, um, we have a say because at the end of the day, we elect the persons that are governing our country, and we have to be able to trust those persons. Trust is a word that is not used lightly because we have to get to know, we really have to get to know people in order to trust them. But at the same time, we have to be able to see, we have to be able to listen
Mhm.
and then see if the actions that are being taken align with what the words are saying. And if, uh, say, I have a boss and I see that I've had this boss for 7 years, and yet we work so hard to make the place better, and we are not seeing that, we are seeing more decline, then it's time to have a conversation. And I'm not even saying wait a whole 7 years, but I think that what I'm trying to hit at is that it is time for that conversation. I think the conversation has probably passed. Several conversations have been had, but there's a time now where we have to decide if we are willing to take go back to the same conversation, or
Mhm.
whether we want to do something about it. And we have to be the change that we want to see. Um, and that is basically, you know, um, part of what, or the basis behind why we, have gone this route.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. Let me see if I could jump in here and see how my audio and video comes across. I was listening to you, and like I said, one of the things I admire about people who are not normally in selective or elective politics is the naturalness of it, the natural desire to care for and to be of service. I think that is what is always most important, the desire to serve.
Yes, and it's not an easy road, and it's not an easy decision, to make all the time, because you can't, let's face it, you can't please everybody. You can't, right?
Hmm.
And people tend to think, I've had to look at it on both sides, because people tend to think that, oh, the government's supposed to do everything for you. The government cannot do everything for us, but at the same time, they have to be held accountable or responsible for the things that they say, that they tell us that they're going to do when they come in. And, you know, we basically employ them. So we have to be able to measure whether that job is being done or not, right? Um, and I guess we've been getting, after having gone through talking to people and in the constituencies and seeing how some people are being treated, it really takes a toll on you. I mean, there's several, having gone through certain things myself, and then also sometimes having to be the strong one, or the strong ones, to help somebody else, has not been easy. And it can be heartbreaking when you see that there's still persons in Barbados that have pit toilets, and that have asked for assistance, and they have been ignored. When you go through a constituency sometimes, and the all of the, they say that they call their constituency office, and nobody ever returns their calls. All of that going on. Sometimes you go through, like in town, you would have certain constituency offices that have been closed whole year. And then when election time came around, the
Hmm.
office was
Hmm.
open again, right?
Mhm.
And then the gimmicks in terms of the psychological component of it all. No, we are people that the whole world, we have gone through a lot. We went through because I'm talking like this because of my, the holistic and the healing side. No, the things that we have gone through over the last 2 years or so, um, having gone through the pandemic and then coming off of that, seeing how the children have been affected and seeing how people have been affected. It was almost as if persons were going through a post-traumatic stress disorder type situation. Stress levels high, and because of the need to regain stability and to get productivity up again because of the financial situations, people tending to be working more, stress levels getting higher, people getting more aggressive, people not sleeping properly, people have financial issues. All of these things combined, along with a lot of pressure, high taxation, all of these things driving up food prices. In order to think properly, you have to eat properly. People can't just eat macaroni and pasta and all the carbohydrates. They need fruits and vegetables and proper sustenance in order to even think properly. And then the other part is the addictions. We're seeing a lot of persons, there are a lot of people drinking more than usual. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with having a drink, but when you're seeing, I mean, we always had this issue in Barbados where sometimes you go to the rum shop, you see men there from early in the morning, but it's gotten worse. And there's certain times you go through certain places and, people are drinking more, but you have to understand that people tend to veer more to addictions when they're under heavy stress, right? And now we come to a snap election where you're not given a lot of time to even contemplate or think about what decision you're going to make. If you're going to make any, I think that there's a certain amount of voter apathy where persons are just not caring right now at this stage. They don't even want to hear about no party. And when you get to that state, you realize things really dread, right? Um, and you have a decision to make. It's like you're going to take care of your family or you're going to get caught up in two sides bickering, right?
Let me answer your question since you mentioned that. And that's the thing, because I saw an ad somewhere that said vote yellow. And
Mhm.
folks are saying red and ready. So we have reduced the selection or the election of what they consider the democratic leader for our entire nation. It has been reduced to colors. Like I said, they say vote yellow and vote red, red and ready. What do you
Yeah.
think about the psychosis of that statement in terms of we've reduced? So you're not even voting for people anymore. You're not studying the policies. You're not thinking about how this is going to impact you. And it's not even about the individual who's most popular. It has been reduced to colors, like almost gang warfare.
Yeah. Yeah.
What
Yes.
are your thoughts on that? And what's an MP's position when it comes to these colors? Because yellow and red make orange, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, I'm not going to answer on behalf of NMP. I'm going to answer on behalf of me at this point, right? Because
Mhm.
I won't say I'm not going to put it on NMP without discussing with them. But for me, red is a symbol. Red denotes a lot of things. It can denote passion, but it can also denote anger and aggression. Yellow is a brighter color. However, psychologically, what it's saying is that if you don't choose these sides, well, you ain't saying nothing. And that is where we come in now. And these other parties are coming in to say that we've come to a point. I mean, it's happened in all of the islands. It's happened in many other islands where they've set, like, they might have started with two. I mean, we have to look at politics on a whole. First of all, politics is something that divides families at times. It divides. Um, it it also has a religious factor, and it questions your belief systems. And the truth is that if we really want to build this nation and get it back to some form of um, goodness again, we all have to work together, right?
Mm.
Psychologically, I don't like how it is going, because it, as you said, it's almost like spiritual or psychological warfare. Um, and it's very petty when you see how, where it stems. It almost is as if we want politics to continue, there needs to be, we talk about in our manifesto, we talk about stability is not reconstruction. And really, we were talking about the economy, but when I'm thinking about it, we have been having lots of conversations about the political process as well. So much so that, the Observation Commission has been sent down here, or has been invited down here to observe our
Mhm.
political
Mhm.
process, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
And to me, these kind of things that are happening are actually quite archaic, right? When we narrowed down an election to who has the biggest posters, who has the who has the most posters, I would have been home um, in my constituency, the constituency that I am running in. I was at home and I was visited by a competing candidate who was canvassing in this area. And I told him that I was running, and he laughed. He didn't believe me.
Wow. Wow.
All right. And so he went on talking and telling me about his posters, and that they had certain posters, but they were just waiting for the other party to see what posters they were going to put up, because they were coming with some new posters. And I'm thinking to myself, no, we got people in this parish that homeless, a lot of homeless people walking about in Oystens. That's not my constituency, but that's right down the hill from me, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
They have many people that need assistance in this country, and these people are worried about the posters that have been put up. Now, yes, we have posters because that is part of the whole process. However, the posters are getting bigger and bigger, and psychologically, what that is doing is it's psychologically captivating people. I mean, when something is in your face like that,
Right, right, right.
you know, you tend to just naturally flow to that. I mean, I've had conversations with older, some older persons as well as younger people, and some of them have told me straight, look, they're the ones with the money, so we go in there because of the posters that they see, and
Mhm.
sometimes what happens too is that when um when election time comes around, like, oh yeah, the place is drained. But then when election time comes, jobs are to be had, or there are things to do that, where young people are employed. And I'm not telling young people don't go and get your money, right? But at the same time, you have to be thinking about, if I get this $300 from this party to do this
Mm-hmm.
job, and
Mm-hmm.
they ask me for my vote, I think that maybe I should find out what I'm signing on to for the next 4 years, because $300 could barely buy you groceries, can't even buy you groceries for a month. And then you sign on to something where you are basically giving somebody power on how to conduct affairs, for you and your country for the next 4 years for that $300. And to me, these things just don't seem right. Um, so psychologically, or also, and it's another thing is that ancestrally, um, I think that people think, okay, people who come from a family, if they're not an independent thinker, because there are independent thinkers that have family on either side and can get along. But then there's some that say, well, I going with what my family has always been this, so I going with this. I'm just gonna go with the crowd. All right. And that is one of the things that I am concerned about, because, and that's why I say we should always do our due diligence and our own investigations, because there are times that we have been told to do certain things and everybody follows suit, only to figure out or to realize that that was not a good course of action to take. People have lost their lives because of just following suit, um, and listening to guidance that was not in the best interest of Barbadians, right? And are we going to continue to do this all the time? Or are we going to actually stand in our power and do something different? It starts with self-awareness and being aware of those people around you. And then it goes out further and further and further. But if we don't have that self-awareness and we don't learn to empower ourselves, and let me state for the record right now, I ain't talking about no violence or nothing like that, but I'm talking about getting up to start. Then we will be forever giving away our power to people, and to undeserving people that do not do right by it. People that will sell you a dream and then take away your gifts and leave you hanging. And this just can't happen anymore. You have to come to that decision. And I'm saying, and I'm not necessarily saying, so I don't want to overstep and say politically, but I think it starts with self, and then you start to see things how you need to see to navigate through whatever choices and decisions you have to make in life. And these are things that are not taught in school, because sometimes you're taught by rote.
Mm-hmm.
You're taught how to read by rote, and people are not actually dealing with understanding anymore. Everything is an act and a play, and about, yes, everybody wants to win. I used to play competitive tennis for Barbados. I used to play
Okay.
competitive tennis for my
Okay.
college overseas. I went to school on a tennis scholarship to college. And I understand about competition. I understand about winning. But when winning takes the shape of cutting down
Mm-hmm.
other people and large amounts of people for your own self fulfillment and aggrandizement and your ego, well, that's not a good state. And when it becomes such a on such a large scale, because what happens is if we have leaders that um, promote this type of behavior, then everybody's going to follow suit
That's
because
right.
they have the ones that have been given the authority to govern,
That's
right?
right. That's right.
And at some time we have to say that enough is enough.
I got a question for you. I like what you said too, and I'm gonna throw you a curveball at this point. So here's a question. Uh, so elections is tomorrow, and this same time you found out that you know if it had be that way that you became the prime minister for a day, what would you do? Yeah, I
I
just
give everybody the day off first.
wait.
Everybody deserves it
They
because
always do that. No, I don't. But on a serious note, if you were
okay.
if you were selected to be the prime minister right now, and you get to run Barbados for a period of time,
Mhm.
give me the first three things you would look to do for the people of Barbados. When you spoke about ancestors and people learning about themselves and their power and not giving it away, I like that. And that's not
Mhm.
something you hear on a political platform. You always say promises about you always say promises. But if you were to be in charge at this point by some um, divine purpose, what would be what would be the first three things rather? 'Cause I'm sure you have a lot of things you would like to implement. What would be the first three things you would like to bring to the people of this
You're
nation?
putting me on the spot here, buddy, because
I
yes,
did I
there's
did
so many things, but and I can come from a more academic or more analytical thing, but I think, I mean, to be responsible, one of the first things that we would need to do is to do launch investigation on what is really going on economically. And we know partially of what is going on economically, but in terms of really understanding what we have to work with, where we are, we have to understand
Mhm.
because you see, there are things that we don't know that
So true.
if
So
unless
true.
we're not in the place and the position, we don't know what's going on behind closed doors, right?
So true.
So we have to understand where we are,
Hmm.
and then we have to be transparent about that um, as much as we can. I mean, I understand the plight of persons in power too, in that they don't want to start chaos. Well, I can't say that because I think that sometimes chaos is started, but you don't want people to get more anxious than they already are. But we have to understand where we are.
Hmm.
We also have to have dialogue with the people, all right? Because we can't, none of these things can happen without the buy-in of the people, you know? And I'm not, as I said again, not everybody is going to have the same opinions or the views, but you have to try to get as close as possible to iron out certain things and engage the public in more conversation,
Hmm.
not deciding what it is going to be and then putting on a meeting to act like if we're taking on what the public is saying and then still go ahead and do what we want to do,
Hmm.
right? Um, we also have to determine where we want to go. We have a lot of innovation going on the island, right? I mean, when I think about, it's almost as if sometimes pressure makes a gem, out of stone.
Hmm. The
And
diamond in
as
the rough.
much as much pressure as um, Barbados has been under, there has been so much innovation and creation that has come out of it. It's crazy. And I look on online, social media. and the things that some people have done or doing creatively,
Mm-hmm.
you know, it's great. And in terms of technology, technology can be our friend. Yes, we know that there also has a dangerous side, but technology also can help innovate our systems, right? We shouldn't have to, like we line up some places the systems are not great. We go to a place and there are about five stations and one person working, two people working, and maybe that is because um people are not businesses are not may not be thriving as much as they were once, and maybe they've had to cut down. That's a possibility. But implementing certain things to make things a little easier. Sometimes I go into workplaces and I realize that yes, they might have all the computers in the world, but they might not all be. They're not streamlined as well as they could be. Um, and there's still a lot of manual stuff going on. And I'm not saying that there's not a room for that and there's not a need for that, but if we can engage systems in a way that work for us as well, to help while having safeguarded or backup measures, that would be a good thing. But I think I'm veering off the topic a bit. What you were asking is about 40 people. So I think the people want to be heard. All right. The amount of people that I am seeing on social media just bawling out things, telling out all everything that going on, is when it gets to that point, it's obviously that a pipe has bust, right?
True, true, true.
So one of the things would be, in terms of we know where we are as a people. We would need to know where we are fully, with all of these stuff that we don't know, but then where we want to go. We have to engage, you know, the public in some, and that's why what we have done, as much as we could in order to get our manifesto accomplished.
Mm-hmm.
Um, we've come up with various topics, like reviving Barbadian character, um, and creating a safe environment again, because a lot of people are not feeling safe. Um, and remembering that, yes, we have the saying, it takes a village to raise a child, and we want to capture the power and the strength of the village, but at the same time, we also know that we are in an evolving state and it's time for progression as well. So we're not saying that we have to go back to the old days, all right? But how can we incorporate these things with the newer ideas, all
Okay.
right?
Okay.
So that there's a good blend, and to create our own island life, right? Healthy food and healthy body and healthy mind is another one.
Mm-hmm.
We recognize that everybody does not have the resources, to have healthy food all the time. And, you know, meeting with certain stakeholders, meeting with certain people, in society that are versed at these things so that we can find a way where maybe we can start growing. I mean, we don't grow a lot of food here anymore. I think we import most of our food. And why
True.
is that? And first, I was hearing, I used to hear the conversation like a few years ago about the soil being depleted, but I know there are ways of getting around those sorts of things.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then, I mean, there's some concrete jungles overseas where people are growing little kitchen gardens and food gardens and stuff like that. You see people here now doing that too in their own homes and stuff. So, you know, how can we get that going some more. Also, sorry, go ahead.
No, what I wanted to since you touch on agriculture, I got to definitely
Mm,
shout out to Bishai, who's tuning in from St. Vincent. Definitely shout Bishai. And it comes to farming, that's the guy.
mm,
What I want to add though is what you said about healthy food, healthy body, healthy mind. Obviously, that's connected to food, and you rightfully mentioned we import a lot of what we consume, and
mhm.
a lot of what we consume is a contributing factor and why the decline in society is where it is. Look, I'll be honest and say this to you, and I'm again, I don't get into the well, I probably shouldn't say I don't get into the politics because I'm probably politically incorrect. I mean, just by virtue of the name, I'll be thrown into the same arena. But as far as I'm concerned, Barbados in its present state and on its current trajectory is a failed and a failing state. And no one really wants to, I'm not hearing that conversation. And I've said certain things on this program that would have indicated that despite what we classify, and don't get me wrong, despite what we classify as advancement right now,
Hmm.
Ms. Morley is always quick to talk about. Look how many hotels we are building. Look how many construction, more hotels, more. We just got 800 jobs, this and that, eternity forth. And again, that's fine. But whose playbook is that coming from? Because as far as Barbados as a nation and as far as a people, if you're going to be honest with it, all tourism has done is replace the plantations inland and become the plantations by the sea. Now, if that's the direction the country is going and everybody's okay with it, that's fine. But like I told Miss Morton when I ran into her, which was a question I posted on this program several times, what about the people who are not interested in going that direction? Of course, her response was classic. There's room for everybody, quote unquote. But what you just said, and I love your humility because it's refreshing when it comes to politics. It's as if politicians seem to think they got to get on a platform, they got to scream, they got to yell, they got to cuss and carry on in order for people to somehow think that they're the most serious amongst us. When we don't need voter empathy at this point, apathy. What we need is people with empathy. And that's what's most important. When they look at the society and see what's going on and realizing, well, hey, wait a minute. All these technological advancement we are making, all this work that we claim we are doing, Barbados is transforming into something. I don't know if we are looking far enough down the road to recognize, like you said, it's not to be trying to go back to the old time ways, but the truth is, a lot of what we used to do, we need to reconnect because
Of
by
course.
by not connect, and I thank you for that. By not connecting to it, it's as if we are moving forward, but we have disconnected from the source, Sankofa. We don't know where we're coming from at this point, and God knows we don't have a clue where we're going. Let me
Yeah.
throw a question at
Mhm.
you.
Mhm.
Let me try to question at you. and
I
thanks.
wanted to say, all right, hold,
No, go
all
ahead, go
right,
ahead, go ahead. No, go ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
hold it. Right. So I understand what you're saying because one of my I've previously spoken about you talk about the hotels, but I was talking about the schools, and it's all well and good. We having all of this stuff that was going on in the schools. Um, people, teachers striking, um, teachers and students getting into fights, students, you know, attacking teachers and students fighting with one another, and all of this was going on. And we were talking about building new schools. So my whole thing is, it's all well good if we build new plants, but I hope that we are addressing the real need, the real issue, which is the students and the staff and the teachers and what is actually going on with the people. Because it would just be, if you move into, if you get a new building, it would be just moving the same thing into a new
A new
space.
space. You're just taking the problem from the old space into the new
So
space.
there is a need for connection with the people.
Agree,
You
agree.
can have as much money and build as many things to develop this country. But if you do not deal with the people, then you will have nothing to work with. I mean, you can just have empty buildings, and that's what you're seeing. Sometimes you see a lot of empty buildings.
Tell me about it.
All right.
Tell me about it.
So when does it get to that stage that you start putting into your people? All right. I
Like
mean,
I said,
we're giving away a lot of land around here. And I'm all for freedom of movement, and but at the same time, we have to take care of ours here and not just
home
cast them
drum
offside or
beat first.
discard them.
Home drum beat first, man.
Home John beat first, right?
Serious.
So I'll let you talk now. You had a question.
No, but yeah, okay. No, I my thing is this, and a lot of people may not agree with it, but and I think Alex was online, and Alex is a number on the screen somewhere. Let me know when you're ready to call in. I think that at this point, when we sit back and we watch what's going on in the election, that you said people are at this point disenfranchised with a lot of way things are happening. And it's like, you know what? I can't be bothered because they're seeing the hypocrisy, they're seeing the corruption, they're seeing the marginalization of the people, especially the youth. And it's like, can't be bothered. What?
And the sad thing is that the youth too buy into this because they're wanting to they're aspiring, right? So they're
Mhm.
seeing a set of people that are having a good time all the time
They're entertained.
and
Politics is
being
no entertainment.
entertained, and because of
Politics is
social
no,
media, they
yeah,
they
it's a
can't
party.
tell what is real from what is
True. It's a
being,
party. It's a
yeah,
party. My
right.
question is a party. It totally is a party. My question for you is, I'm dealing with the youth again since you mentioned it earlier. When you look at society now in terms of the young people, the youth, who's supposed to be the ones that will take up the mantle and take this on to the next generation and pass on and so forth. When you look at our society right now, where do you see the youth of Barbados in, let's say, 5, 10, 15 years from now? Where
I
do you
don't
see
see
the youth?
them. I don't see them. That is why I became so passionate about this, and it's not just this is a this is because I am a mother myself. This is because my son has friends. This is because I see young people every day and how the thought process has changed. And that is why we part of why we are doing this too, because we have to do something about the situation if we want to see something good for our children.
That's
All
right.
right. Or they will not be. I mean, the way things are going, you have to be able to address these things. It's almost as if we've come to a stage where, some people just say, well, I taking what's mine, I taking what's for me, and who cares about who comes after me, and that, in terms of your inheritance,
Mhm.
um, you have to think about your family's legacy, their inheritance, and how you want your children to grow and how you want your grandchildren to grow. Um, some may not care. I mean, I realize it has come to that. Some people just don't care. And I think that again speaks to healing, because I think that some people have been hurt and hardened so much
Mhm.
that, you know, their heart has been totally blocked, right? And it does
Right.
take a heart and a mind type situation. And I know people are tired of being taken advantage, because when you use, your heart, there's certain people out there that want to, we got a predatory energy in this society, right? That will
Mhm.
want to take advantage of that, right? But if you recognize, if you really heal and you work on yourself and thing, you set your boundaries, those things, those persons won't be able to come around you anymore, that sort of way, but you
True.
have to get to that state in your own evolution. You can't do that. You can lead a horse to the water, but you can't make it drink. And
That's the
that's the
first time
issue,
today I heard that. I'm
right?
tempted to say it, but I heard it earlier. Well, before you go, I want you to share some thoughts with us. I'm just throw another curve at you.
Mhm. Oh, I
So,
didn't finish, but hold on. You didn't. You asked me the three things. I said, so we will have to
one,
see where we are, where
right,
we want to
take
go, and
with
then go
recognition
to
to the people. You got
how
one
we
more.
gonna get there.
How we
How
gonna
we
get
gonna
there?
get? Yeah.
You know what? What is okay? I don't want to say genuine as if you were not, and I suspect that your passion sometimes might be misunderstood. And 'cause
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure you're soft spoken now, but you're not always soft spoken.
Right.
I know you're not always soft spoken. Like, that is, I'm almost tempted to say an old Caribbean tale, but when you wake up and go in your front house, in your front living room, your patio, and you look out to your community, ironically, which is partly your constituency as well. When you look outside and you look around and you see your neighbors and different children and the elderly in community, you look around Barbados and you see the news and the social media and different things going on, and then you hear about things happening about land being given away and savvy on the bay parking lots and the things that these folks are concerned with in this multi-story complex resort being built in the West Coast there, despite all that noise about the coastline and the beachfronts and all this. And you hear all these things going on, and you really think to yourself, let me go and get involved in politics. What do you say to yourself when you wake up in the morning? What's that first thing you say to yourself to give yourself the kind of motivation and the drive to go against this clearly colonial continual system, to say that I'm going to speak truth to this power regardless? What drives you in the morning? Tell Barbados as an individual, why they should vote for you and what drives you, as opposed to, you know, pick yellow or pick red. What drives Natalie Paris?
I think it is liberation. I think it is the people.
Um,
I
say that
see
word. Say that word again. L-
liberation.
Liberation. Liberation.
I
Wow.
see a captured land
Hmm.
that is in between phases. Like we want to claim liberation when we want to, and we want to now talk about, you know, we know that we are independent, we are supposed to be an independent country. However, the actions that have been taken of late do not suggest that we are really that free. And it starts with our own minds, right? And when I still hear people saying, you know, seeing some of the things that are going on, some of the gimmicks that are going on, and figuring that they have to, they just have to go with it, it's showing me that we aren't liberated
Hmm.
as fully as we think that we are as a people collectively, right? Um, I want people to be happy again. People aren't happy in this country, right?
Wow.
And don't mind the smiles and you see everybody on social media and all that. You don't know what's going on the other side, right? And I've come to realize that there's some that play the part in order to get where they need to get. Um, some end up going against their own values because they have to survive. They have to live and make ends meet and do a job that they might not necessarily like or not, but it pays the bills and it's about survival now, right? And we
Hmm.
want a country that is going to thrive, not just survive, not just wake up every day to survive and can't enjoy any of their life,
Hmm.
you know? And it's making it, what also drives me is making it better for the next generation. All right. When I leave this earth, I want to be able to leave something proper for my son, no, or for whoever comes, after me,
Mm-hmm.
and to leave something where, I mean, if we look at our own journey and we know about history and we know that our ancestors would have gone through so much for us to be here today, right? Their blood runs through our veins, right?
That's the thing.
And they would have gone through so much. So, they went through slavery, and we are here. We are here living the life compared to what they would have lived, right? They can't even imagine what we live in now, right?
I'll,
And
I'll,
we
I'll
don't.
tell you something about
Uh-huh.
that, though. Go ahead. You finish first, and I'll tell you when you finish.
And so as I said before, it's about evolution. It's about evolving and to making it going a step further and making it a bit better, not digressing and going backward,
Facts. Facts.
right? And another thing is if we sign away our right to our sign away our
Our birthright.
basic human rights,
Right. Right.
then we are going to go back that way. People say don't vote, they're not voting, and all of these different things. And I understand it well, but I also remember that I was living in the States, and I remember there was a time when they were pushing everybody to vote because there was a point where if they didn't vote, that they could have been carried right back to a slave type situation, right? And that has always stuck in my mind, that we have to understand that we have, and I'm not using power slackly, but we have power, all right? And I think that Bajans, some of us have been beaten down so much that we just don't think we have any power more. So you just give up and don't bother.
Mm.
But in that way, you're signing away your own, your own self power and your
It's like you
awareness.
say, Barbadians have sold their birthright for 20,
Yeah.
well, a board of peas.
And now they're offering $5,000 to newly born
And
children and all of that. Again, you gonna go back with that now again? After, I mean, we had bonds and all these kinds of things promised us, and then when you're going to hand them in, you ain't getting what you're supposed to get. You
I,
can go
I,
down. You gonna go for that one again?
well, don't go anywhere. Speaking of power, I have a gentleman going to be joining us. I don't know if you know him. You may have heard the name Alex Mitchell,
Mm,
and you won't see him in mainstream. If you do see him, it probably be very brief. I'm sure they'll cut his mic. But on
mhm.
politically incorrect, Alex get to be Alex.
Yes.
Love him or don't love him, he is one of the true people I know that have been on this journey way, way back. We met over a decade ago, like over a decade ago. It's almost at this point closer to 2 decades, which is crazy. That's been a while, but he has been consistently fighting the issue of land and theft in this nation. One of the things a lot of families have suffered with, and I know a few personally. I mean, at this point, I know about maybe close to 10 people who have had their families' estate. Like you said, people are, I think Pedro just mentioned it, you told people signing away, but some people are just compliant with what's going on. But in reality is
Mhm.
there are people who have literally stolen
Yes.
inheritance from people all because of
Correct.
land and given it away to foreigners or other new colonizers. So Alex gonna be joining us. Want to welcome Alex to Politically Incorrect. He is not new to the platform. Greetings, Alex, and welcome again. Your mic might be mute. You may have to unmute. And thanks for joining us. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear. Greetings and
Okay,
welcome.
good.
Politically Incorrect. You know where we get it correct. How you keeping, bro?
Mm,
Peace, peace, Islam, bro.
they're good.
All right, all right. Well, I was here having a conversation with a sister. I'm not sure you would have heard most of what she was sharing. I like the fact that she's passionate and she's speaking from her heart, sincerely, not vote yellow or vote red and ready. You have ran in almost every election, to my knowledge, in Barbados. Tell us, to them. Tell us right now, who is Alex Mitchell, and we'll start with that first of all. Who is, in a nutshell, because folks who tune in tonight.
Maybe I'm the nut in the nutshell.
That's fine. That means we're all nuts in this pod here.
Yeah. Well, I don't like talking about myself. It's kind of, I don't know. To me, it's not. But for these purposes, let me find something to say. I born in Barbados in the early '60s, and I'm still here. Been around the world a couple of times, and I'm still here.
You said born in the early '60s.
Yeah.
You look like you're 40 right now.
Yeah.
No, but the reason I asked that question, Alex, because you and I, we have, if it's one person, I know we could be on the phone and we could be calm having a conversation, then we could be yelling having a conversation, be calm having a conversation. If it's one person I can always go to and talk to respectfully, is always Alex. And
wait a minute, and because of you, I would have got a new mic today, got rid of the old one, because you're telling me that I sound too loud, like I'm angry, like I'm shouting. I just want to make sure you hear me.
Angry and yelling. I'm simply saying that people, knowing us as a people, especially who have been oppressed for so long, sometimes they miss the message because they start to focus on the messenger. And I know your message is too important for people to miss. So I want to give you every opportunity to get your message out, because it's too important to Barbados. It's too important to the constituency where you represent. It's too important to the region right now, as far as I'm concerned. One of the most powerful messages is coming from the message that you bring, which is really about their inheritance, the land, and what's going on in Barbados. So you're in the area right now, if I'm not mistaken. You give us more details about it.
Yeah, well, it's St. Michael South.
St. Michael South.
And the reason I chose St. Michael South in the very beginning, we started in 2012. I went to the Nation News and I told them that I was going to run. But I had went to electoral and boundary commission, and they told me I needed an ID card. So I gave them what I needed. I went and got the ID card, and that was on October 1st. Didn't know that was Ms. Motley's birthday till 5 years later. So I already knew that I landed on that spot. And that's why I guess we're here right now. Destiny, I see certain things. So I put it together. And when you rob the elderly, and I get a call, the 19th of this month will make 23 years I've been doing this. And it's very hard to get it across to the people, because anytime you want anything, all you have is go to the government. Like if government's your big brother, like if we're under a communist rule, and that is where you go for whatever you want: land, farming, housing, care, whatever. And then when you listen to an 85-year-old woman telling you things that you can't find on Google or anywhere, it kind of wakes you up, because of the experiences I have in America for over 40 years. So when you come down here and you stay quiet, you listen to all the cussing and carry it on, because people believe that Carl Williams owned this and the government owned this and Clico owned this. Clico don't own nothing. That's the first thing I ran into. Clico don't own nothing. So you can't lose a case under Ponzi and fraud, and the court tell you sell what you have and give back to the people when you never bought it. It was just stated. It was stated on the records. And then the people, the way that they were living, it was cool, because I kind of liked the wooden floors and everything. That's what I grew up on, the wood, until we moved to the pine. But it was just amazing. Everybody seemed cool. And they got used to that. But then they got trapped after a while, because they couldn't buy any property. They couldn't get any equity. They wasn't making enough money to do anything. and it would just give the appearance that they were living in paradise while sucking off of the nipple of the government. But then you find out it was in reverse. It's the government who is doing the pulling and the taking and the taxing and rewriting the books at the land registry and hiding things at the archives. Like they tell you the archives burned down. They didn't burn down. It was just a building in the archives that behind the guard shack that burned down. And they spread this myth that the whole archives burned down. So I had to go up there and look for myself, take a picture, post it. Archives didn't burn down. Another psyops. And then when you rewrite the books at the land registry and things on different pages that they were on in the 1970s and 80s, but your name is missing, it's like they played a big game. Okay, your mother or father got an estate. You don't know because they keep everything quiet. Your grandparents got something, but they keep it quiet. And then when the lawyers make the wills, they put one piece of property in that will to make it an estate will. And then they say whatsoever, wheresoever situated, but not necessarily identified, mean on the paper. So say your family got 10 houses. I'm just making something up, but it's real, okay? So your family got 10 houses and your father put one in the will to show they got a estate, and then it says wherever situated, not specifically identified. And when you go looking, you might see 2. The other 8 disappear. The lawyers renting them out, having a good time. They take over your bank account because they act as your power of attorney when you hire them. You got to watch the paper that you sign with the lawyer. And that paper cannot say that the lawyer have an interest in this case. His interest come before yours. You got to line that out.
To me, then. So if that's we know that happens here, and I could verify that as well, where lawyers have been rather than doing the work they were recruited to do, or I can't even say paid, because in some cases, some lawyers, they won't take the payment because they have a different plan. Nevertheless, the service they were supposed to render, they didn't render. At this point, when you get in politics and you look at what's going on in Barbados, where the majority of lawyers are politicians and running racket in some cases, how does Alex Mitchell factor himself into the whole scheme of things? Let's say tomorrow comes, election is there, and you become prime minister tomorrow. Same question I asked Ms. Pyrus. What's the first 3 things, apart from picking the AG and all the other stuff, Pedro, we get it. What's the first 3 things you want to address in Barbados?
1, first thing, full forensic audit of all government departments.
Correct.
Say that again.
A full forensic, not no on a general report or no report. Because I can give you a report right now for my day planner. We don't want that. We want to know how the money came into the treasury, who wrote the check, who signed the back of it, whose account that it went into, where did it go after that, and make sure that you don't come in office worth 400,000 and leave worth 30 or 40 million. That means that somebody is stealing your money.
Correct.
All the money that was ever printed in Barbados is still here, right? And it's being hoarded. Number 1. Number 2, the next thing I would do, I would go to the QEH, get everybody together in one bedroom and say, listen, nobody leave this room until everybody make me a list of everything you need to run this QEH. Everything. I don't care, x-rays, MRI, med bed, kidney dialysis, equipment, I don't care what it is. And then you're going to have an area where somebody's in charge of that to make sure that it doesn't walk out the room. You do not deduct.
You mean like the beds they bought for the new A&E wing and got folks laying on the floor? they bought
it for the wing. They buy it for you. They got feathers somewhere flying around, right? then I would. Next thing I would do, I'll go over to the water company.
Okay, wait a minute. That's a touchy area, Alex.
No. You know me already. All right.
Okay.
I am living in a republic. I know what you're living in. I will get rid of the chlorine, fluorine, fluoride, lead, rust, mud, feces, lime, coral, the green and red dye me up put in the water that's giving everybody turbo cancer and other type of pallets and stuff going in their bodies. That's what's messing them up. Right? Next thing I do is get rid of these 5G plus towers, which is what? 7G, that is
Yeah.
activating the Marlboro virus and everything in your body from the vaccine you was food to take. I got an AI phone right here. This is telling me I'm getting 3G. So why am I paying for 4G? So the 7G, which is 5G plus,
Why
is
you?
is the weapon.
You know why you paying for it, man.
Yeah, okay. So
Right? Let me answer your question. Since you mentioned 5G, I'm gonna throw this out to Barbadians right now.
5G plus, which is 7G.
I'm gonna throw this out to Barbados. What is Flow? You have what you have? Did you say what you got? Did you?
Digi.
You got the Wolf or you got
Digi.
Digicel? Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay. Yeah, we know who runs Digicel.
Yeah.
But,
Right?
doesn't matter. Hold on, doesn't matter.
Okay.
And this is a question, even to my brethren Pedro and the others listening. In fact, if for no other reason, share this program tonight. You got Miss Paris and you definitely got Alex, two big hitters. Let me just say this to you. If for no other reason, share this for this reason. Did you know, Alex, that Flow or Digicel do not own the numbers they give you? That they actually rent the numbers from the government of Barbados? When you go buy a SIM card right now, you go to Flow.
Yeah, listen. I'm gonna no. Let me ask you the question. No, I didn't know that.
But hold on, wait a minute.
Yes, I comprehend it.
Let me finish. So when you go to Digicel and you buy a SIM card, 5G, and you go to Flow or whichever you buy a SIM card, and you assume that you made a contract with Flow or a contract with Digicel, and you got a network now. You're working with Are you on Digicel? Are you on Flow? Did you know that Flow and Digicel both rent? Listen to me carefully. They rent the cell numbers from the government of Barbados.
No, I didn't know that detail about it.
Look into that, man. Look into that. Look into that.
Okay, all right. Well, look, let me tell you something, right? Everything that comes into Barbados,
right?
When you hear the stakeholders and the shareholders, those are the ministers and the lawyers and the white or the rich who's invest with them. And the way they do it in Barbados is the government will hold 51%, they can hold 49%. And then when they say that they're checking with the stakeholders and shareholders, it's the same room with the same people, just a different sign on the door. Okay? Did you sell the meeting? You take off that sign, you put up the hospital, the same people on the other side, right? With all the oil, but I don't even get to the oil and gas that we got. You know, we are our own Saudi Arabia, or what you call it, all right? We got a lot of that. All that could be subsidized, but let me move a little further. The next thing that I would do, but this is all at the same time, because say you had 30 minutes or 15, right? Because right now you got 30-0 twice, right. and nobody can tell me what 30-0. Wait a minute, what 30-0 have done for us, not to us, for us, right? 218, 219, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. Can't tell us what they have done. You know what they've done to us, but what have they done for us? You can't list it.
Let me answer a very serious question, Alex, and this is close to home because I mean I went to too many funerals in the last few years for some young men that I was really working close with, like family, man, like my sons. What would you do right now to manage the escalating situation of crime? We've had the most on the lives in this nation in the last, few years, really, ever in the history. And we have come to the country right now to address the issue of crime.
Crime starts from the land. Everything that is going on in Barbados right now is a distraction and a cover-up from the thievery that they're doing in the background. And they don't count any people that they have to kill. The government have killed more people than COVID, even though that they're responsible for the COVID-19 vaccine into the bodies. And what I would do for those, go ahead.
The record, this ain't 1, 2, 3. So they liable to shut this down. You start saying the wrong words in the right sentence. So let's be mindful of that. Just be mindful of that.
Well,
somebody would. I'm telling you, but go ahead. I don't want unnecessarily get taken down.
Okay. So what you have is that the crime is really them. They're running the crime. There was a 2001 green paper by David Simmons, And this green paper that I have, it tells you in the green paper what the causes of crime is and how to fix it. They have used the crime in reverse. They reverse engineered the green paper, all right? Set afire Glendaria at 250 people per prison in the prison. And then they went and opened up a 1,250 room prison.
A private one, by the way.
Yes. What do you call it? Prison industrial for gain for profit. And they paid themselves $25 million every January. They did the same deal with the water authority building there in the Pine. They paid themselves $5 million every January. And they have found a way, because it was planned, the DLP, what they did, they call them the lost generation, because after they finished school, they didn't give them any options. So they was able to pump them into prison and pay themselves for locking them up, removing the sperm from the egg, right? And leaving it for somebody else to come get.
The harvest.
And then the guys come out and they ain't got nowhere to go right back into it. And they just picking them off. Now they're selling them for body parts as they do their drive-bys. You know, that's the rawness of it. And you saw the killing going on. Sometimes you even see, in my opinion, I see they look like policemen to me, because I don't know any criminals that goes to buy a brand new bike, a brand new jacket, a brand new helmet, a brand new gun to drive around and shoot at the place, to instill fear in areas that they want to clean out, like Nelson Street or whatever, right? And the fact that they took the vaccine, it makes them more itchy when the thought comes to their head. Because people are right outside of me, they get into a little scrimmage, and the first thing that comes to their head is to kill the other person with no hesitation. They don't recover until after the thought goes through their head. So the thing is, a lot of these things is caused by the vaccine and the parasite. So one of the things I would do, I would get a whole lot of cloves so people could drink clove water before they go to bed or when they wake up. Then they would get the tobacco leaf, because the tobacco leaf destroys the nanoparticles in their body, and take off the new electric meters that they got on their houses, because they didn't put one on mine. I didn't permit it, because I knew ahead what was going on. That is also affecting the people. I will also make sure that the food is clean before we import it. I will put every contractor in Barbados on the roads to fix the roads right away. If they stop stealing the money, then we will have the money to pay the people. You cannot have Carl Williams paving roads in Barbados for 14 years, $100 million a year for 14 years, and the roads ain't done yet. So now you know why they had to kill my mic at the last debate in St. George, York.
We remember that one. That was
all right.
That was classic.
All right. So the thing is that they don't want the truth. Everybody's running around partying, and
no, go ahead, finish.
And you know, and once we clean them out, because if it was up to me, you know, David Simmons would be locked up. Carl Williams, Richard Chellenham would be locked up. Pat Chellenham would be locked up. Those is where it started, and then it bled.
How about Ralph Thorne?
Ralph Thorne. Do you know he pushed out at least 2 of my houses? One hotel that was there across from Bubba's.
Whoa. Dial it back a bit.
Yeah.
He did what?
He pushed down my house there in Worthing View, right down the beach, across on the beach where they had a trailer over there, across from Six Mix from Bar. Yeah. I got the video from it. Somebody sent me the video when he's pushing it down with the things from America in it.
That was Ralph Thorne?
Yes. Right? Remember, that's his constituency, so he's over there, right? See, that is Worthing View Plantation, 1926, 61 acres, right? Mary J. Eversley, we never sold it. So he's over there acting like it belongs to him, and they're all doing what they feel like doing, right? That's what they're doing. They're just laundering, right? Which is RICO, racketeering, and they need to be in jail, all right? So when you do a forensic audit, the proof will come forward of what they've done, and we will free Barbados. Because you can't tell me that Barbados, when my mother went to school, Barbados is 144 square miles. I don't know where 22 square miles came from to make it 166. You go on the internet, it says it's 169, right? The records on the internet say that Barbados is made up of 491 plantations. But when you Google on the internet, you only find 396. That means that 95 is missing. And these 95 is what I'm protecting. Billings Hill, Bonnets, Welches, Black Rock, right? Doors aren't on there. St.
Okay.
James North, wait a minute. St.
Okay,
James North.
Okay,
St.
so
James,
hold on. So you're saying that you're protecting all these areas, and trust me, I know it all but well. Let me ask you a question then. How do you recover that which you say you're protecting?
well, number one, in fraud, there's no statute, there's no limitations on fraud. Fraud or murder, you got to go back the day before the fraud.
Okay.
That's like going the day before the murder. That means the person ain't dead, but
So
you can
hold on.
come forward.
So we on the eve of election, and folks are listening to this and saying, what reason would I have to go out there tomorrow and click and well X?
Well, okay, all right. Let me get to that.
The name Mitchell. What reason after what you're saying now would I have? Because you're telling me all this is almost like history to me. This doesn't help me making it.
Okay, good. Okay, well, this is why I ran in St. Michael South.
How
The
does
first,
this,
I'm getting to that. Let me just say, please.
let me phrase it.
You ain't got to phrase it. I got it.
Okay, well, I want to phrase it for those who don't got it. I'm sitting at home. I'm confused. I got all this red colors and media, big giant posters, 10-foot tall banners all over the place, massive. And I don't see pictures of Alex. I heard about him. I see him. He's on Politically Incorrect, and he's talking to me. Why would I go and put a mark next to Alex Mitchell in all black, by the way, which I love, by the way? What makes me check your name?
Because I ran in St. Michael South because I wanted to go after the leader, which was Fundle Stewart. He's the snake in the head I went after.
I remember that.
Okay. The second reason is because I have the 1930 plantation deed of 190 acres for the Bay.
How much?
190 acres, 1930, from a black John Backles, not a white one, black John Backles who died in 1957. I got a death certificate too, right?
You mean that they just gave the African Exim Bank? You mean that all that land is what you're referring to?
Yes, exactly. You see, because the African Exim Bank, the first lady that bought all this property name was Beatrice Jimmitt. When she got married, she became a Henry. 1. 2, the person that bought the 5 acres of land where they want to build the bank, that 5 acres of land was bought by Colonel Jimmitt for the people coming out of slavery to have their own hospital facility. And then what Mia Motley did is she took 1.4 acres from my 190 acres to make it 6.4 acres to then say that now she's going to give it to them because they got a plan to buy a bank for $38 million from back in 2014, which I have that. I think I sent it to you. You can see it there on the bottom. And what they then did is then telling Savvy on the beat that Savvy got to go. But Savvy got to find who the landlord is, because people was given land to hold for a period of time and then take it back like Miss Ram, right? All Miss Ram had to do was produce her deed, but her deed got to get past me. So somebody let her sit there for years and years, getting a whole lot of water and not paying the water bill at all, right? Savvy got the same problem. Savvy got to come see me, right? But Savvy want to stick with who they sticking with. Savvy's going to move. And whoever builds on the land without landowner's permission, if it is ours, is going to own it. I don't care if they put Hyatt. I don't care if they put a bank on there, and we get in. That's going to be the hospital, because that was the first intention, the first intent for us, because that's the only proof of reparations we ever get. The rest of St. Michael South is British Hill. British Hill is not listed on the internet. I don't care if you go to 1913's plantation. I don't care if you go to Wikipedia. I don't care where you go. But you can't go to plantations.bb from the archives, because I challenged that. It's on the whole website. Okay? There's no British Hill listed. There's no bonnets listed. So I got the paperwork for it. So who's going to step forward in front of me and say that they own it? That's why these people can't get water. In order to get water, gas, and build, you need landowner's permission. You need to talk to me, or you need to talk to the person who owns it. So what I can do is clear their titles. So this is St. Michael South I'm talking about.
Well, I'm saying
where I'm running.
Wait a minute, and don't get me wrong. Since you own it, then, and you're saying to us now, this is why you should vote for me because I own it.
No, not because I own it.
Right.
That was first before. Now that's the second reason. The first reason right now is because with the Bridgetown Initiative, they're going to push people back off the land.
But no, what I'm saying is that
So if they want to,
you're saying that. Meanwhile, I walk by there, and this is what I'm seeing. This doesn't tell me you own anything. This tells me that these folks took this land. I don't know if you ever
well,
seen this. I don't know if you ever seen this. You walk by there. This is plastered on that wall and the
yeah,
fence.
that's okay. That's okay. That's
But no,
okay. All
like
law,
there,
all, listen to me. Listen to me carefully.
yeah,
All law, that's a trespass. Wherever you build on my land is mine. If it ain't my land, if they build it on that land, if they
right,
build that bank on that land,
right,
that bank or that area belongs to the people of Barbados because that
right,
land was bought for the people of Barbados.
right.
And if you're not going to use it for the people of Barbados, it has to revert back to the owners of the land, which is the same family. Right? So we want the hospital built there, but we want to upgrade it for the people of Barbados. We don't need no African bank in Barbados because that's where the ministers and the lawyers, they want to create their own bank of international settlements where they will then have their own power, like the City of London, like the Vatican, like the Pentagon, have their own police and tell you what you can and cannot do. That is a massive fraud. And them being a bank, they would know what I'm saying is correct. They ain't got no business there.
You see
Right? Wait a minute, the same thing like Four Seasons, right? You see nothing to move over. How long has Four Seasons Black Rock been trying to be built? How many years?
How many years have the Four
Yeah,
Seasons? How many
yeah,
years?
yeah. Over 20 years or more, they can't get going because when you go on the internet, you don't see Black Rock, but I got the 1952 deed. Okay, so if you could get past my deed, I'm not saying I own every piece of land on the deed. But when it comes to beach property, that was the cheapest property in Barbados because you couldn't grow sugarcane, you couldn't grow tobacco, cotton, whatever. It was cheap. You know, it becomes more valuable when the white people show up and they want to get a tan, right? So now they got to get past me. I'm not against development. I'm against fraud development, right? Because this is a super clico. This is the same as Madoff and Alan Stanford. Comprehend that, right? And everything that the government say they own in Barbados, I recorded it in the government of Barbados with the rent. Right now, they owe this estate 27 billion in rent alone, just rent, right?
Okay. So who's collecting on that?
Nobody collecting because crooks don't pay.
Right. So then what method, as a person going out to vote, hearing this, like, yo, man, this man's saying this stuff. This sounds legit. I don't know. How is it possible that he say he own it, yet these people giving it away? I gonna vote for this man just to see if he gets in, what happens.
Well,
Because and you get in the position of parliament, because the truth is, I wouldn't say all, majority of the people involved in government, both DLP and BLP, and I've heard it myself, they all know about this matter. I remember Oswald Franklin tried to belittle you and insult your integrity on some other platform he was on, and say things about you that it was like, yo, this.
No, he called me an interloper, but an interloper is one who destroyed the fraud that's going on. Look up the word interloper, right? On the street level, it means one thing, but legally and lawfully it means something else. Every word got 3 meanings or more. Okay, so I picked the one that describes what I'm doing. Well, because
that the idea was to paint Alex Mitchell in a different light when Alex has been out here fighting for the land, for the people, for as long as I know you.
But here's the thing, listen. When Violet wrote a letter to Owen Arthur, right. Owen Arthur then took that letter with the information and gave it to his attorney general. His attorney, Mia Motley was his attorney general. So then, at the time, so then Mia then gave the work for Caswell to do because she's too busy. You know, attorney generals don't do nothing, right?
Right.
And we came back with a 3-page report from what he see, not saying what he know, what he see, and the documents to show that the marshals got involved in stealing from Violet. Everybody, even Dale Marshall is, and all them people from 1986 when it all went down. They were changing records back from 1980, and a lot of the people that you see promoted and selected was in it from way back. They're all in it, so they're all covering up for each other. Whether it's Sandra Mason, whether it's Bostic, well, you know, whoever it is, they all know. They all know. So that's why nobody can come out and call me a liar. Even the Supreme Court is built on the land that we own, because that used to be Violet Beckel's grandfather's. He's the one who brought the foundry to Barbados, Mr. Agard. So when we talk about Agard and Agard the other day with Owen and all of that going on, it's the same family. And you just got jealous lawyers looking for a way to rob people to get rich. So, you know, at some point we have to do a forensic audit on their bank accounts. And when we do that, we then have the power to seize the money that they have stolen and bring it back to the people. They just are not broke. They've just been robbed. They've just been robbed. And we have to, look, and we just have to find a way to give it back. And we know how to get it back, right? I don't care if Trump came here with a Black Hawk and two bubble bees and picked them up in the middle of the night like they did Venezuela, because he sent them a message. You know, behave yourself or we come for you too.
Yeah, that's
because remember, with all the stuff that's in the water, it's very hard for you to remember what was said 9 days ago or 8 days ago. You know, people then forget about the pandemic, you know, and then we got this election here with, and you know, now let me just say this to give people an idea what's going on with this election. You have, when I was looking at the population of Barbados, I saw 304,000. Like 2022, 2023 on Google. Mia came out last January and said it's 285,000. Okay, let's stick that up there. By June, she said it's 259,000. It just went down 26,000. Wait a minute. And then now, by December, what is it? If we got 259,000, how do we get 271,000 people on the voters registry? Where do these people come from? Right? And how many of them are dead? So, I mean, if you got like 45,000 in the population down, how come you only took 8,000 off the voting list? So you got allegedly 37,000 dead people on the voting list that you can make an ID card for them and they can vote. The only thing is going to be different in the picture, but you don't know if that's the person or not. You got an ID card and he comes in, right? So now you got extra people to make sure you win, right? So I know about the fraud in it, as far as what they're doing. And I want to know about the 37,000 plus people. When you do all the numbers, it comes down to about 63,000 people missing. I got newspapers going back to the 1980s, the 1990s. And I went through the papers and I said, you know what?
Do they put the ink on your finger when you vote here in Barbados?
No.
So there's really no identifying mark to suggest to someone that you voted already.
Barbados is so crooked, you better cut off the top of the finger. That ain't gonna do no good. All right? That ain't gonna do no good. Cut off the top of the finger.
No,
right?
Man, that's crazy. So
the thing is like, are you gonna say that you're ready for an election? Nah, this is all game. This is all game of posturing, right? And the numbers don't line up. You can't be ready because the Election Boundary Commission, you know, I've been running longer than a lot of them been working there. The new people that's in charge was put there by Mia, and she's giving me all kind of interference. We wasted a whole week up there. They charged us for papers that we normally get free. They took my name off the list. We really got the list back the other day. Now my name is back on it because I protest, and I started videotaping because I'm in the computer. So who went looking for me to remove my name and other people from other so-called fourth parties? Not third, because the BLP is first, the DLP is second, and the BBDLP is third. It's them combining to make their own coalition. All right, they got their own coalition. So now everybody to me is like a fourth party right now, and you could go from there, right? So me running could save the people from the Bayland area because Mia's trying to push them back. If you vote for Kurt, that means you agree with Mia, and if Mia gets 16 seats and they move you, you just voted to be moved. If you want to stay where you are and protect where you are, right, and have me build, because we plan to build 44,100 brand new 3-bedroom, 2-bath houses, and we have 900 to 1,000 square feet. That's how you get ready for the next pandemic. 5.0 on the earthquake, 5.0 on the hurricane, and we renting these houses for $500 billion a month. We are the people who built these houses in the Pine, or all over in Bagatelle. All the government housing came from us. The government owned no land. The only land they own was on Bay Street where the government building is, and that land was handed over to the Barbados government during independence, and maybe where the governor general is. Everything was conveyance. Once you cut off a piece of land off that conveyance, it turns into a title deed, which makes it subject to taxes, right? And if you have a free and clear title deed in Barbados, no property taxes. If we are the first safe society, we can be the first free society. No taxes for business for taxes. You can't take nobody's property for taxes. If you fall behind and say you have to go get a mortgage, the bank can only take what you owe. So it's not like you buy a house and you did for 15 years, you bought it for 200, it's worth 400,000. The bank came and take what they owe and your equity from you. Good. The bank take the house from you and sell it. They can only take what you owe them. They can't steal your equity. We got to stop that robbery. All right? So so we can't have a healthy economy with sick people. So we want to get people healthy, go ahead well. I'm happy that we have 96 people running. 96. You know why? Because 30 is B, 30 is D, and 36 on the 9 has the ability to win a seat to come in with at least 16 to take the government. Right? I don't have to win a seat. The people of Barbados have to win a government. We can't worry about a party winning. It's time that the people win. And that's how we'll get out of this mess.
So that's right. The only challenge I can see happening is who gets to wear the cap, because I know how that goes, man.
Well, listen. Well, you know what the white hat represents, right? That's why I got this on. White hats, justice, coming after crooks.
Yeah, I don't even. Here's a question for you before we wrap it up here tonight. I'll answer this question also to Ms. Paris before we go as well. So, and I asked her this earlier. So we are here right now, literally on the precipice of a calmness. I mean, I've experienced a few elections here in Barbados for the last few days, especially today. There's a eerie feeling. There's a different feeling. There's a different energy flowing through Barbados. Those who are in tune would know this. And there's a difference on this time around.
It's hope.
Hold on, you in tune. I was going to say to you, what do you think right now Barbadians are hoping for right now? What do you think? And I'm asking this to you, and I'm asking this also Ms. Paris. We should probably let ladies go first. What do you think Barbadians right now, Ms. Paris, are hoping for right now? Like children before, like Christmas Eve, like children waiting to see what happened tomorrow. What's Santa Claus going to bring me? That kind of thing. What do you think Barbadians now are hoping for in relation to what the outcome is tomorrow?
Okay. Before I say what I'm going to say, I want to say everything I have to say because I have to go. But I think that they're looking, hope is a good word, fairness, justice. I think they want transparency, and they want to know what is really going on around them, and they want security. They want to feel secure, because I don't think that many feel secure, and a true sense of stability.
A true sense of stability. I like that.
A true sense of stability. We talk about stability on paper, but that is not what we are seeing with our eyes. So I think that Bajans want that. And of course, Bajans, as Alex rightfully said, Bajans are not a poor people, very abundant people, but they want to be able to see that in reality, right? As well, so that they can make their lives better, their families' lives better, and those around them better, and to be fruitful while here on this island, right? I just want to say this last piece, so I don't have to speak again, but I just want to hit home that also for my constituency, for the youth, we really want to push programs. The youth on the whole in Barbados need mentors. They need leaders. It doesn't have to be leadership starts at the top, yes, but we have to have leaders in our communities as well. Because right now they're not having the best examples set for them, right? And the only way that we can curtail this is by the behaviors too. The behaviors go hand in hand with the economics and everything else that's going on. And for my constituency in particular, I would have mentioned certain things that I see that are going on, but we're also asking for, in terms of the safety, to be enhanced with better lighting, the bushing of areas that are dangerous. And it starts sometimes with the small things and then going out bigger. But I think what has been neglected is the smaller things. And sometimes you gotta start smaller, and move, branch out bigger. Yes, we want money to come into the country, and the way that the government sees it is by building hotels and whatnot. But we, as I said before, home drum beats first, and let us take care of the safety and security in all forms of fashion holistically of our people. That is health, that's education, that's community building, entrepreneurship, all of it, the whole gamut. And on that note, I would say good night.
Well, Ms. Paris, I definitely want to thank you for coming here, having the kahunas to come on Politically Incorrect. Not too many people venture this neck of the woods for whatever reason, but I like your grace, though. If I could say something about you and speak to you, grace, and because we're so used to seeing the antics, and I got to say antics and the theatrics by the characters, the colonial characters masquerading in the costumes and the colonial garments. We tend to have a mindset that that is what it's supposed to be, when in reality, when it comes to governance and dealing with people, it is godly. It has to be godly. And I'm not talking being perfect. I'm saying the desire to do and to serve sincerely and genuinely. And I want to
Because
thank you.
authority, that's the whole mindset that these people have. You have to realize that at the end of the day, the authority is supposed to be given by the divine, right?
That's right. That's right. That's right. I want to thank you
And
for showing us
right,
that,
yes, yeah.
for displaying that
So
in your character.
yeah, so we just have to keep connecting and keep being guided forward, in the best that we can.
For sure.
Yes, and
For
I'll
sure.
leave it.
I
I'll
could
leave it
see,
there.
I could already see where this going go. I could
Right.
it's good. It's good. It's good. The gift. Let me tell you something.
All right.
Remember one thing. The thief is never smarter than the priest. Let them do what they're supposed to do because they have a calling. Pharaoh had a duty to perform. They all have a role to perform. Remember, we can't say that the Almighty in charge. Then we question when we see things happening. It's all happening for us, not to us. Like Alex
Yes.
asked the question, what have they done to us? What have they done for us? In reality, we wouldn't be here having this conversation if they were not doing what they were doing. So let's continue to grow in grace and do what we are called to do from that divine standpoint. And I thank you, Ms. Paris, for joining us.
Thank you too for having me, and good night, Alex, as well.
Yeah, you too.
And good night, audience. Thank you for having me.
Not a problem. Not a problem.
All
Thanks.
right.
Thanks
Okay.
again.
All right. Bye-bye.
All right. All right. Yes, Alex, your turn now, man.
Yeah. So I mean, I
What do
just
you
want to.
what do you think Barbados on the eve of this election? What do you think Barbados is hoping for right now? What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I hope that they don't want to go to bed tonight and feel the same way tomorrow night.
Serious. Say that again.
Otherwise,
Say that again. Say that
I,
again.
I don't want them to go to bed tonight and feel the same way tomorrow night. Right? So the thing is,
That's serious, That's a serious thing, man. Tomorrow night gonna be a listen. What you
yeah,
did is profound here. If you go to bed tonight feeling how you feeling and go bed tomorrow the same feeling, boy, I tell you, boy, we in trouble.
that means that nothing didn't happen. They fall for the old thing again,
In
and the
fact,
same people they're gonna continue the plan that they had. There's
wow,
no stopping them, right?
wow.
So if if they get the numbers right tomorrow night,
Right.
or whatever time they get the numbers,
Right.
and I hope these election examiners is over there when they're counting and see what's going on, or travel with them.
Really.
They will be up. They will be up the following day for another 24 hours. They'll be out there jumping.
Listen,
You know?
the examiners are only there to witness the count of the boxes when they're open. The examiners are not writing with the boxes when they leave point A to point B. So
I talked about that.
It's of security that this gimmick is trying to put over on Barbadians, because in reality, the individuals who are supposed to be overseeing will not be traveling with these boxes. How many? 30, how many polling stations are there really in total?
Oh man, there may be at least, it could be 10 in each 10 in each constituency. Boxes where you would vote, and I don't know how many places that they will actually count them, because it depends how they set up the cheat.
That's a minimum already of 300.
Right. So you have you got double boxes. Somebody told me that they saw some boxes and they were clear, and that was one of the things that I was talking about. That the boxes need to be clear and transparent, and the after that day that the people came and vote, the early voters, that box should be weighed, and you can say, okay, this is 5 kg. You don't bring it back tomorrow; it weighs 10, because the hole at the top of the box is still open. So you could be pumping that thing all night. And so and we got all these cameras watching everybody, but we don't have cameras in the jails when people are being killed and hanged inside of a jail cell, and we don't have any cameras on the boxes. You got cameras on the people to make sure that the people don't see the crimes that they're doing. That's the only reason I can find for the cameras, because you can't tell me who did what, who drive by, this, that, the other. Oh, come on. Anyway,
every box should be outfitted with how they got the police cameras, the chest cam, whatever you call it. If every box is outfitted with a camera that points to the entrance of the box, then in a sense that that isn't really, because you can always hack the camera.
Well, I mean, you could put the boxes where you have cameras up on the roof aiming down.
You do, man.
Video typing 24 hours a day.
Man, we could hack that surveillance. You didn't see Tom Cruise movie.
Yes, I see all of that, man. But I'm just saying, we could at least try. Put a dog in it to bark or something. Because dog ain't gonna fill out a ballot.
No, can I tell you something, man, Alex? And all and I say this with a genuine. I hope you're not sticking anymore, because it was sticking earlier. That's why.
No, it was still good. You're still good. I see you good, man.
Let me say this, man. Let me say this, man. I don't make fun of it because I think it's cynical. I make fun of it because if I don't make fun of it, man, the mindset that we would have might put us in a place, like Minority Report was a movie, those who know it, where they would scan your biometrics and everything, and they would predict what crime you might be potentially willing to do next before it even happened. We don't see where this is going, man. And all these votes, election, all this stuff, a lot of it, like you said, is really a distraction, because it doesn't, they have their plan, they have their agenda. And thank goodness for people like yourself who really put a spoke in their wheel by speaking out and speaking that truth to power. Because the other politicians, for the most part, they're not even having that conversation. They're not even touching certain things because they can't. They're all part of the same, just changing managers of the corporation. But I say that the way this thing is going, we individuals who are not a part of it need to be very cognizant in this time, like you said, from the 5G, the 6, the 7, all the different weapons they're putting together to use against the people, deliberately to marginalize, disenfranchise, and ostracize, and keep us away from what they're planning to do. Like you said, they have not. So if they could redraw that line and take back all the wealth that we would have amassed over the years, and literally, like you said, rob the people of their inheritance, literally rob them. And it puts them in a state of dependency. That's why when they come and say, look, I got a couple of dollars, go and put up some posters. I got a couple of dollars, go and rip down Alex posters. they go do it because, it's demand and a need, keep people begging. You create a begging society. And a begging society is always going to beg. That's just the bottom line. So I want to thank people like yourself. I mean, I know people, how many people actually tell you thanks for still fighting the fight, for still making it public, for still bringing what is in the dark to light, and keep advocating for what you know is right, because it ain't gonna stop. And even if you get it done and get there, unless we get them out the way, they're gonna always be trying to do what they have been conditioned to do. So we just got to keep the fight and keep pushing forward. Give the people of Barbados, Alex, a word, um, imparting that you want to take on and think about when it comes to tomorrow morning, when they get up to do what they call civic right, or whatever they call it, the right to vote, whatever.
It could be a rebirth, right? A rebirth.
Say that again.
Right? Rebirth. Rebirth of the real republic. We got to bring the real republic forward, not this fake republic, right? So if I believe in a real republic, I have to behave like a real republic. I can't behave like a colony. I can't behave like a commonwealth, right? So I'm the one that have to push free speech, expression, accountability, all of those things that people want, all the rights, the God-given rights, the human rights, the freedom of expression, the free press, the free radio, the free everything, right? That's why we're the Bajan Free Party, right? Because we know that we deserve a certain amount of free and a certain amount of freedom, right? Because I heard that somebody said that supposed to be the AG that we don't have any rights, we have privileges. Nah. Or we need license from them, right? License. Permission granted by a higher authority to carry out a specific act. So what authority you got over me that I need license from you?
Tell me who needs permission only. Slaves. Only slaves need permission. Free men. Don't. The only authority we recognize is God, the Almighty.
And listen to this. When the people of Barbados find out how much oil we have, how much drilling they're doing off the side of Barbados, everybody in Barbados will not see a Suzuki again. You'll be in a G-Wagon, all right? This is the real Dubai. But you're too dark to enjoy it. You want to give to somebody else. We got oil, we got gas, we got fish, or we got people. We don't need nothing, right? And we're going to open up all new farms in Barbados. All the indigenous foods to Barbados, maybe 100, 200 acres of soursop, green apples, golden apples, plantain, mangoes, Bajan cherries, whatever it is. All of that stuff that we need to grow. But they want to grow houses and buildings for people who got third and fourth houses, and they want us to import all our food from Guyana. That's madness. And then they want to give all of our clean water to the cruise ships. People don't comprehend yet, right? Sure. The big plan they have, and they're doing it, but they didn't tell them, and they're picking them apart piece by piece and making them happy because they're building homes for other people. It's time that we build these 44,100 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, more if needed, for the people here and the people who want to return here. Mm-hmm. And for 500 billion a month, you can't beat that, all right? But when you go to national housing, they charge you $850 for a small 2-bedroom. That's for a single mother or some students from overseas, whatever. But you need to be able to walk through the front door on land and walk in your backyard on land. And we don't need buildings too high because the fire department don't put out no fires. they just make sure what's on the left and right don't burn, and you're in the middle burning. So we can't really go that high up, right? And we just gotta get clean food, clean government, a constitution. We don't want this flipping back and forth, playing games with people, right? And the thing that keeps me calm, because I remember you talking something the other day. Right? What keeps me calm is that I know the truth.
That's right.
Right? I mean, when I was going up here, because I didn't know the truth, I had to believe the unbelievable to get to the truth. Because we're living the lie right now. We got to get out of this lie, right? So if the people go to the polls tomorrow and vote anybody but B or D, okay? And if, like in St. Lucie, I think, there's only a B and a D. Mm-hmm. There's only them two, and you feel like you got to vote. Don't vote that red. Go yellow, right? But everybody else, vote any of these so-called fourth parties. We got 36 people, and 16 of them can run the government. because the government have laws and procedures that the BLP and the DLP don't follow. They do as they please.
You can
right?
imagine. You can imagine you. You can imagine you walking into Olara Court in front of Bostic.
Bostic can be in jail. He ain't staying there.
No. You see, you let it go through the procedure first.
Nah, hey. Yeah, listen.
You're arrested.
He got there by fraud. Okay.
For sure.
Okay, good. So hey, that's done. He gone. He gone. Don't leave it to me. He's a military man. He know what a court martial is. All right. And you can't be sworn into any office without two things. You ready for it?
Go ahead.
God and the Constitution.
Facts. So what is he swearing allegiance to?
I think when I heard Ralph Thorne being sworn in, he was sworn in by as prescribed by law. No God, no Constitution, as prescribed by law. And who's prescribing the law? 30 and 0.
Wait, hold on. And Mr. Ralph Thorne defense, he probably had a book by Plato. So though he wasn't holding
No. I'm saying the words you say when you're holding your book by Plato.
And he likes
right?
And he into politics and this kind of thing. So most likely he was probably holding a book by Voltaire or something. One day.
Listen. When he was stealing our land and putting it in the papers and going to court with it and pushing down buildings. Imagine in Barbados they tell you if you got rental property, what are you supposed to do with it? You're supposed to record it and pay. Good. So now they know what properties are recorded as rentals. And how come those are the only properties that's being pushed down and set on fire?
What I want to know is how comes I ain't never seen no white Bajans and no red t-shirts, yellow t-shirts, or I ain't seen no Indians out here with the dashiki and a Motley shirt on. How comes I don't ever see that? I mean, I'm saying me because I don't.
Me, I can't fool them. Those are the ones that got all the businesses that we spend our money to.
Never see no white Bajans, nobody boatyard in no red t-shirt saying me, we, whatever. I don't see that on no Ralph Thorne shirts. Like, how comes Alex, Mr. You campaigning? Maybe I'm not out there like that, so I might be missing in action. How comes I don't see white Barbadians? And here's the thing. People that get upset with me when I say these things. I remember I made a comment once about Indians buying a part of land, and someone heard me and ran and told one of the what we call Indians that I had doing business with at the time to don't give me no more work because I racist because of what I said. And I think to myself, imagine this here though.
Racist in your country, and what you say is true that Cheltenham is selling land to everybody but because we can't afford it. We ain't got no businesses. We can't get the loans. That's why we need our own bank to do our own thing. Right? We're going to get our money back. Everybody don't got to worry about nothing. Everybody going to get their money back. Hold on. One of the things that I say in our manifesto, the same manifesto, because nothing changed. Those the government owes, if I was in the government and I do the forensic audit and we see that we owe you $30 million, we're going to pay you. Whoever the government owes, we're going to pay them first. When we're going to pay everybody, whoever owes the government, we're going to collect. All right? We're going to collect. Because you can't write off people's taxes from 1986 to 2000 and say it's okay. You can't steal $400 million. That's what the DLP did. I mean, the BLP stole $400 million. Then the DLP comes in and they steal $397 million. So they'd be below that. Then there's another $200 million unaccounted for. That's the second billion that she wrote off, right?
Like I said, they all in cahoots. I don't draw no distinction between the two.
Listen, when you look down in the snake
you in a
pit,
ring with a boxer and he hit you with a left hook or a right jab. Trust me, whether the left hook or the right jab, it's the same man. Same man
right.
beating you. That's all I'm saying. Anyhow, Alex, I want to thank you as always for coming up on Political.
No, I want to thank you, man. Because you know the big listen. It's not only a big shout out, but it's a big shutout. So I'm going to say also thank you to 246 Beijing Vibes and DJ Sugar D and the whole crew for letting me speak on the weekend, Saturday and Sunday and Thursdays. And we had a little thing here tonight. I've been since 2 a.m. this morning, right? So I've been doing, he did a show today that we don't normally do. And then you hit me on here and I was barely hanging on till you get here. I'm like, where's he at? Where's he at?
I was having technical issues. Like it was really like there was a lot of interference.
I see it. I could see it, but the thing is, it was only with you, but not with the lady.
Yeah.
Hers was fine, but since I know what you look like, you could just, you know, pull your hat down like that, you know.
I know what's up. I know what's up, man. I know what's up. Trust me, I know what's up. A person of interest. But thanks, Alex, though, really, like I said, on this battlefield, on this journey, there are few people I honestly can tell you that I have seen at this level. And when we come across each other, it's just a mutual respect, because I know for a fact that the fight is real, and it is real. And they're both people, they're the people in the system who are just moles in the system, just waiting for the day they can do what they came to do as well. So, you know, big up to all the people in positions in the system, because we're not fighting the system. We're fighting the corruption that goes on within the system, because there's need for order. Nobody's against order, but there's divine order above all else. So I give thanks to you as well, always, for holding the fort, being firm, representing the divine order.
Well, I hope that 23, right? She died on the 23rd of August, 2010. Then David Thompson died October 23rd, 2010. August 23rd, 2010, Violet Beckles. October 23rd, 2010, David Thompson. Then Seth, the guy that makes the things with the wire, I met up with him. And I've been looking for all the time, I couldn't find him. And then I said, I'm looking for the third, 23rd. And he pulled out "The Lord is my shepherd" in violet color. And I put my hand in my pocket and I pulled out $10. I said, "What do you charge for that?" He says, "10, I got it." Right? So now the fourth 23rd that's coming up, the 19th of this month, will be 23 years I'm doing this.
Wow.
23 years. So I hope all the 23s line up together, and we get this shit going and free the people.
Like you got to know what you're doing. It's just a matter when, not a matter if.
Yeah.
You got to know that, and they know it too.
Yeah, they know.
By the way, and I made sure, Mrs. Stewart. I got Stewart, without question. Shout out to Gene Goddard as well, for sure, and all the other individuals who go through similar things, man.
Let me hold on. Let me just thank John Wayne Scantleberry that owns Fustic Plantation, 320 acres. No, what was the other one? No, he owns Fustic, where the guy up there is building on it. And the other one, I can't remember the other one right now. And I want to thank, he's in St. Philip South, John Wayne Scantleberry. And I want to thank the other man that came out, Marvin Whitaker. They put his name wrong, they spelled his name wrong, they put the wrong place. They just did everything to us, and they put blanks that they don't have our pictures in the papers and all that kind of stuff. But that's okay. That's okay. Right? So I'm just glad that these two warriors was able to be my wingman on my plane in this particular episode, because like you said, the hanging around me and getting the information correct is very intense, right? And John, I ride John Wayne, right? I ride him, because he's a good guy. They did a lot of wrong to him, right? And he's still fighting through, right? They knocked him out the last election with a move, but he's back again because he's showing that he's nothing to do with what they're doing or accuse him of. And Mr. Whitaker, everybody was over here last night, and we went through the papers and putting them together. And I just want to thank them for their effort, because I pushed them to see what it is, how much they could take before they fall off.
I know.
They're still there. They're still there. Because when it comes to this, I ain't easy. I got like 100 pounds. Listen to me. I got about 100 pounds of documentation that should be in the archives for anybody to see that they got hidden.
It will be soon.
We have to put everything back. We have to put everything back. Thou shalt not steal. What God are dealing with?
That's the mission, man. And we're going to get it done. Just a matter of when, again, not a matter if. And they know that. So, as always, I tell you, to be continued. To be continued.
Thank you, Emmanuel.
Peace, peace. Islam, bro.
Peace, more.
Yes, yes. Alex Mitchell joining us, as always, on Politically Incorrect. Y'all already know, as always, it's an honor to be in this space discussing the matters that usually don't get the the media coverage as they ought to. And we know the media, for the most part, is biased. That propaganda machines, most of them, and the ones that might not want to be, they don't have a choice but to fall in line. You know. Anyhow, we the people, the real people, and power to the people. Family, give me your thoughts on tonight. I see a lot of folks had some comments there. I didn't even get to go through as much. I was there tuning in. Shout out to Miss Paris again. And shout out to Young Kimura, by the way, while we at it. And anybody else putting in work outside. What's the other group name? Friends of Democracy as well. And someone sent me a message saying that the Friends of Democracy should change their name because they ain't got no friends when it comes to democracy. I thought that was interesting. I thought it would have changed democracy, seeing as how we don't have democracy. But what we have is good people with good intentions. So the wording, that could always be amended. That's not even the focus. But the passion and the purpose and that divine calling in this time to speak truth to power. You know, I salute everyone on that path. You know, Miss Williams as well. Definitely got to shout out young Miss Williams as well. Another passionate person, individual, put in this work. Family, it's time though, however, that we take it to the next level and start being in tune with self, having knowledge of self, so we can speak that true knowledge to the people and resurrect in order to be liberated and redeemed. So we got work to do. Let us continue to do the work, continue to push forward. And like I said, you know, tonight it's just I think I'm going to take a drive. In fact, I'm going for a drive. I'm going to take a drive around Barbados, man, and just probably go on a beach somewhere and just walk on the sand and just walk in the water. Yeah, I'm feeling a need to do that. Go see Oshun. Yeah, I want to, definitely going out and do that. So, yeah, just channel the energy. Yeah, that they haven't declared the glory of God. Give thanks, family. Haile Selassie first, Empress Reserve Menin. Y'all already know the perfect balance. I got a video I want to play tonight. The final video, I got to play this. I got to play it. It's going to be on my status. It should be on my status already, I think. But I'm going to play it. I want to thank my people again for sending it out. And she said she's my angel. I didn't even know what to say to that. That was just, that was interesting. I've not heard too many people say that, but yeah. Anyhow, she sent a video and I definitely want to play it. Let me go ahead and cue it up real quick. Let me see if I can get it here. Hang on. Okay, let me see what's happening here now. Okay. Yes, so wait. I can't even see it. Let me pause it, man. Full of life. They want mash up the culture. Tear it to the ground. People stay strong, man. Let me get that. I'm trying to cue it. Hang on a second. I'm queuing it. Okay. All right. Let me share the screen. Oh man, this is one of them things, right? All right. So I guess this is kind of like the debut in a sense. All right. So bear with me on this one, family. Just bear with me, man. Just bear with me on this one. We're going to add it to the stage. Sweet paradise. But the politics full of lies. They want mash up the culture. Tear it to the ground. But the people who is stand strong, we hold the rock down. Wake up, shake up, wake up my people. Shake up, wake up my people. Shake up, wake up my people. Shake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up my people. Shake up, wake up my people. Shake up, wake up my people. Shake up. It's time to rise. Time to see clear. Time to open we eyes. Tell a friend to tell a friend if you don't mind Yes, wake up, politically incorrect. They put a video to the song. I didn't know what to say to that, man. But I thought it was actually pretty cool to some degree. To some degree. She's just amazing what she does. That's all I could say, man. And how the universe just put people together in the most unscripted ways. Nevertheless, real ISIS, I see you. I see you. I see you. I see the sheriff in the building. I see Sean and Pedro got jokes as per usual. I can't even touch it. The only reason why a country is poor depends on how much the leaders are still. Oh man. Facts. Facts. Sean told Pedro to vote for two people then. I'm not even touching it. Y'all look, I gotta tell y'all, right? Y'all be hilarious though, man. Like boss it will have to appoint Alex. Nah, Pedro, that ain't how that gonna go down at all, man. I see you too. I see you. Peace. But greetings to the sheriff as well in the building. Definitely shout to Alex. Blessings to Alex Mitchell for sure. Dwayne Smith, yeah, give thanks, brother. Peace to you. Good information. Maureen said, good night, Emmanuel and family. Rest well. Thanks, Maureen. Thanks, Isis. We see you. Maureen said that the tank looks beautiful. We should be as happy as the fish. They all sitting there all still. You see, not even moving. They paying attention to politically incorrect. Actually, they're probably upset because the light is on and it's so late. So that's probably what they are. They protested, Maureen. They protested. I'm gonna turn it off. In a minute. And you said you again. Yeah, I go into the beach, man. I go into the beach. I go to the beach and walk around for a little bit, Alex, Pedro, and take a walk in the water, man. Or Shun. But even take a sea bath. I feel like do a sea bath. Emancipate yourself from mental slavery. Jackie, fire, you like the video? She said, love it. Yes, greetings, Queen. Yes, you see Isis. All right, give thanks, family. Again, like I said, thanks for tuning in. It's a few minutes to midnight, what they call the changing over of the day. Although sunset past already, for those who know. Barbados. I had did a video earlier that said, will there be a next election? And as far as they're concerned, they would never be an election. Tomorrow is not even an election day. What will happen tomorrow will be historic in this nation for all times, man. And the reason I'm saying that though is like, wait till I do a post-election video, inshallah. I mean, I even see pyrotechnic stuff, flares and stuff on one of the stages earlier. Like, wow, like this thing going to a whole nother level, man. Yeah, I'm saying a whole nother level. Anyhow, family. Shout again to Alex Mitchell, the young lady Miss Paris, and everybody else looking to make a difference. You know, you've been called to do a work, continue to do the work, and everything will work out in divine time. Delay is not denied. Just keep pushing forward. Alex said 23, 23, 23, and both 23. Wow. Wow. Yeah, that man. Anyhow. Wow. Powerful numbers. Yeah, I was just saying calculating. Y'all saw that, right? Anyhow, we out of here. Y'all have a peaceful night, you know, and just take some time for yourself, reflect on where we're going as a people, where you're going as an individual within yourself. your family, like I said, your community, your constituency, and by extension, your nation. It is that kind of time. Connect the dots. There's work to be done. A lot has to be said, but more work has to be done. So hold firm, family. Hold firm. Hold firm. It's a new day. I'm gonna play the same video here again on the way out. Y'all could enjoy it. And where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Here we go. One more time. Yeah.
Barbados, sweet paradise. But the tricksters, full of lies. They want mash up the culture, tear it to the ground. But the people